Hello students, hope you all are doing well and safe at home. We have already started our new topic genetics, and we have been discussing about the genetics from our previous topic. In our previous topic, previous session, and in our previous topic we have discussed about some important terms related to genetics. Now today I'll be explaining about the Mendel's experiment. Okay. Mendel did so many experiments like monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross. Today I'll be telling about the monohybrid cross. Now, what is monohybrid cross? Monohybrid cross, mono means single and hybrid means form. Monohybrid cross is that cross where single contrasting characteristics crossed at a time. Okay, only single characteristic which are contrast to each other, like high, tall, dwarf, like green, yellow. Only single contrasting character when crossed each other at a time. This is called monohybrid cross. Mendel carried out his experiment on the garden pea plant, was botanical, which is botanically named as Pisum sativum, and he did his experiments between 1856 to 1865, and in this period he grew a huge amount of pea plant there. I think around 30,000 pea plant Mendel grew between these period for his experiment. Now the question is, why Mendel had chosen only pea plant? Why not animals? Why not human beings? Most of the students had given me answer in my class that because Mendel had lovely pea garden, that's why he had chosen pea plant for his experiment. Yes, Mendel had a lovely pea garden and he considered that pea plant as his child also. This is the one reason why he had chosen, but the most important and basic reason is why he had chosen pea plant as his for his experiment, because Mendel himself was a human being, and it cannot be possible, it couldn't be possible that Mendel can study more and more generations of human being and animals. That's why, and plants has short life cycle, and pea plant especially has a very short lifespan and short life cycle. That's why he had chosen pea plant for his experiment. Pea plant also has some more characteristics which fulfill the requirement for the experiment of Mendel's. The criteria or the characteristics of pea plants are: pea plant has short life cycle, it can grow throughout the year, it can shows so many versions, so many variations, like short, dwarf, its seed green, yellow, shape of the pod, shape of the seed, the position of the flowers, axial and terminal, etc. It can be seen only in pea plant. That's why he had chosen pea plant. And the most important basic reason is that single cross of pea plant can give large number of offspring. Okay, so that Mendel got so many offsprings for his experiment, and he could come up with accurate result. With a single offspring he couldn't come up with accurate result. He needs so many large number of offspring for his experiment. That's why these are the reasons why Mendel had chosen pea plant for his experiment. Now the steps followed by Mendel. How Mendel followed the step for his experiment. Number one, at very first Mendel raised pure line trait of selected contrasting character. Okay, he raised trait of pure line or pure hybrid. That what does it mean? What do I mean with pure line? Pure line, the one who generating same type of trait for many years. Suppose a tall plant, it only generating tall plants for so many years. This is pure hybrid or pure line trait. dwarf plant only will generate dwarf plant for so many years. So this is called pure line, and Mendel at very first raised pure line generation or pure line trait of selected traits, one tall, one dwarf, or either green podded, green seeded plant or yellow seeded plant. Okay, so these are the experiments done by the first step done by Mendel. Now what Mendel did, he cross-pollinated between these two selected trait or pure line trait for F1 generation of filial generation. He cross-pollinated. Though pea plant can self-pollinated plant, they can self-pollinate, but Mendel did not allow those plants for self-pollination. That is why he removed the stamen, that is male reproductive part, from his selected trait, and from another trait he removed female reproductive part, that is carpel, and carpel was dusted with stamen, and a seed pod containing seed formed, and this pot containing seed planted and grew a new pea plant, the one thing here I should tell you that the removal of male reproductive part, the term called emasculation, the removal of male reproductive part. Okay, this is the second step followed by Mendel. He removed the reproductive part from his selected opposite character trait, and he he cross-pollinated between them, and he got seed, and this seed planted, and a new plant grew from there. Now what Mendel did, he self-pollinated, he made them self-pollinated. Okay, and one more thing, when a new plant grew in a first generation, in F1 generation, what happened, a new plant grew, the characteristics of new plant can be seen from outside. All the plants were tall. Okay, in F1 generation, Mendel got all the plants tall. Now selfing takes place. He took place between the between the F1 generation. Mendel made self-fertilization between the brother plant or sister plant of F1 generation, and after that he got a result which bothered him a lot. He got result that three traits were tall, but one trait were dwarf. Okay, here Mendel bothered that how come a trait from grandparent came after skipping one generation. How come it happened? And Mendel did so many experiments regarding this query, but in every experiment he got the same result. The second generation he was getting three traits were tall, or any dominant character can be seen. Three traits, dominant character can be seen in three traits, and one recessive character can be seen in one trait. Then Mendel concluded, he finally observed and he concluded that every factor present in a pair, and it is responsible for the appearance of character. Okay, factors present in pair, and it is responsible for the appearance of the character. The factors on that time, factor couldn't be distinguished between gene and alleles. That's why Mendel named it as a factor. Okay, And second thing, he concluded or he observed that each factor, every organism or each factor from pair inherit from each parent. One factor from one parent and one factor from another parent, it inherited to their offspring. Only one factor from pair inherited to their offspring. Okay. And third thing he got that one factor from pair go to the gamete. Okay. And next Mendel concluded that if suppose every organism has unlike factors. Okay. Unlike factors present in organisms, but only one allele or one factor can be expressible and one factor cannot be expressible. The factor which can expressible, which expressed on that time, this is called dominant allele or dominant factor, and the factor which did not express itself, it is called recessive allele. We have already discussed about the recessive and dominant allele in our previous topic. So these are the conclusion done observed by Mendel. Now how monohybrid cross takes place, will be discussing here. How monohybrid cross takes place. It is very easy. Suppose parent tall, always dominant character represent by uppercase. Okay, dominant character only represent by uppercase. Okay, and the recessive character represent by lowercase. Whether it is here I am taking the character tall, height, but any character yellow, green. If you are taking yellow dominant Y, capital Y for dominant character, you should take the recessive letter in small case, same uppercase, small case. You have to write the uppercase for dominant and lower case for recessive character. So if parent T tall, and this is the first step. Mendel raised special characteristics, pure line characteristic, tall plant and dwarf plant. Okay. Now these are the factors which is responsible for the appearance of the character. Now gamete, when gametes are formed, gametes are always represent in circle. Okay, one factor in each gamete and one factor in another gamete, it passed like this only. And here then what happened? Cross pollination here will make cross pollination, that is TT. You are getting here again TT, see, this is F1 generation or filial generation. This is F1 or filial generation. Okay, and in this generation what you can observe, that all the plant dominant character capital T, all the plants are tall here. Okay, all tall, we are getting all tall. Okay, now what Mendel did, he selfing takes place. Now he fertilized the sister plant or brother plant with each other. Then here we have here this is heterozygous trait. These are homozygous trait, same type of characteristics, and these are heterozygous trait. Okay, because the two opposite characters are there, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Now self-pollination, selfing, this is selfing. Now what happened when after selfing T, 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 got? Now T, T, and here we are getting completely dwarf. All these, this is tall, this is also tall, and but this is dwarf. So physically we can see here what? 3 traits are tall here and 1 trait is dwarf here. So this is phenotype. I have already discussed about the phenotype. The physical appearance of any trait is called physical appearance is considered as phenotype. So here we get the ratio of phenotype. See, tall, tall, tall. We are getting 3 tall plant here and 1 dwarf plant here. So what is the ratio of phenotype? This is F2 generation. Okay, this is F2 generation. So what is the ratio of phenotype? Phenotypic ratio we are getting here. Phenotype, 3:1. 3:1. This is the phenotype ratio. 3 tall plant and 1 dwarf plant. This is the plant. This is the physical appearance. Okay. Now genetic constitution. Okay. What is genetic constitution called? Genotype. Okay. So what is the genetic constitution here? See, 1 all tall. Okay. 1, 2 capital T, small t. Okay, and 1 only small t. So what is the ratio genetical constitution here? 1:2:1. Okay, 1:2:1. So this is the Mendel's experiment, and he got genotypic ratio and phenotypic ratio from here. In the first generation, no ratio because all the plants were tall. Okay, in the first generation all the plants were tall. Then after that self-pollination takes place between the first generation, though all the parents were tall here, but we are getting 1 dwarf plant here. Okay, and in this case what happened, from grandparent 1 trait can be seen after skipping 1 generation, and Mendel did so many experiments in this regarding this feature, and in all the experiment he got the same result, and the phenotypic ratio here he got 3:1 and phenotypic ratio 1:2:1. Okay, you can see the board properly. This is the this is the first generation, capital T, their parent gamete TT we are crossing here, we'll get the F1 generation. This is F1 generation, all tall. Then self-pollination, after self-pollinating them, what happened, we are getting here capital TT, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, and small t, dwarf. Here we are getting 3 tall plants. Phenotypically these 3 plants are tall and this is dwarf, and here we are getting what ratio? 3:1. Okay, this is phenotype ratio, 3:1. It is phenotype ratio, phenotypical ratio. And what is genotypical ratio? This is the genetical constitution we are seeing here, capital T 1, capital T small t, capital T small t 2 and small t 1. That is 1:2:1. Yellow seed and small y for green seed. What you will get the result for its after its monohybrid cross. You will do this as take it as your homework. I will give the result in our next session. You will do this in a square method. Okay. I will explain one square method here. Suppose I am taking capital T. Okay. Fine. T. Here also T. This is the F1 generation. What is the result of F1 generation here? All tall. In this way you will do this by your own self. Now the second generation, F2 generation, how will you in F2 generation cross pollination takes place. That means here you are getting TT. This is F2 generation, and self fertilization takes place between the same trait TT, because here we are getting the genotypically we are getting capital T small t, but phenotypically it was all tall. Okay, so here we are getting what? TT, and here this is the second generation. So we are getting TT, we are crossing it, then we are crossing it TT, again this crossed with each other, we are getting TT, and this crossed with each other, which is called which is small t, and this is F2 or second filial generation. Okay, so in this way you got the results. In the first here the phenotypical ratio is 3. We are getting 3 tall plant, 3:1, and phenotypically ratio 1:2:1. Okay, now here you will do this by your own self. This is your homework. I hope I will get the answers in my comment box. And 2 more questions I am going to ask you. What is phenotype? And the second question is, what is called the genetical arrangement? What is the term called genetic arrangement or genetic makeup? Constitution of genes are called what? So this is the question, and I hope you understand monohybrid cross. In our next video we will be discussing about the dihybrid cross. I hope you like this video. If you have any query, have any question, have any confusion, you can drop your question in my comment box, and keep liking, keep sharing, and keep subscribing my channel. Thank you so much.